Good morning, fellow groomers. We are going to talk about advertising today. That's right, advertising. Very simply, how do we get our message out there that we're groomers, right? All the groomers are like, how do I get more advertising? Well, you got some free advertising in front of you. Depending on a location. Everything comes back to location. Man, that is a sweet looking car. Everything comes back to location. It's always about location. And if you're in a bad location, that can be a big deal too, right? Hold on, I got somebody calling. Declined it, and it's still ringing. Give me just a minute, guys. Okay, back to it. Now the phone stopped ringing. I can't talk with it ringing in my ear. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Advertising. Well, when we started, we were in a great location, Main Street, in our city, actual city, Jacksonville, Florida. And we could not go up on the sign in front of the store. Part of the lease, the sign belonged to the cleaners who put the sign in. Now, they said, once the cleaners move out, the sign's all yours. I held them to that. However, even after we got the sign, people still couldn't find us. Our original advertising was a Suburban, all striped up and beautiful. Here's a pic. Added the boat after, and then after that we added the Scion. That Suburban was the best advertising ever. The boat was fabulous advertising too. However, the boat is, not visible, not on the road, not as many people actually see it. The Suburban, on the other hand, even if we were out of town on vacation, we would get calls to the number. Can you groom our dog? We see you in the campground. Visibility is your number one advertising. That's why with this vehicle that you can win, I picked strictly on its advertising merit. I did not realize it was turning a classic and going astronomically in value through the roof, which is why I don't think I will lose my hiney on this, even though I am giving it away. I am doing that strictly for advertising. For my new channel, Wandering Willie, and website wanderingwillie.com. where you can get all the merch. The Wandering Willie merch, which right now is a mystery. You don't know what you're going to get. I like mysteries. I like the excitement of life, and I find that, being different gives you that excitement. This is beautiful country out here.
Continue on Jason Road for 1 mile.
Advertising has to be clean, clear, and concise. What do? It has to tell the customer what you do. I do fences, I do grooming, I do, boat repair. Whatever you do, your name has to say it, or your advertising has to say it for you. If people read it and they don't understand it, they can't figure out what you do, it's not going to work for you. So it has to be big, bold, and clear and understandable. Now, why vehicle advertising? Well, everyone sees it. Everyone.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto North Carolina 903 North.
Anytime you go somewhere, people are reading it. It is some of the best money you can spend if you are thrifty. You can spend way too much on vehicle advertising that doesn't work. So make sure if it's more than lettering that you ask other people to read it and make sure they can tell you what you do as a business.
Continue on North Carolina 903 North for 7 miles.
I'll never forget, as long as I lived in California. And during the week, there were TV, during cartoons, there was a dealership that ran ads. Crazy Cal. Look him up. I think it's Cal Ripken, but that may be a baseball player, so his last name may not be Ripken. Crazy Cal of California had a car lot, used car lot. He would run TV commercials and he would have exotic animals brought in on the weekends. Popcorn, free sodas, one of the first I know to really do it up. And people would go down there to just take their kids to see the animals and end up doing exactly what he wanted, which is buying a vehicle. No plans to buy a vehicle, but they'd leave with a vehicle. Sometimes it's about just getting people in the door. Once they're in the door, you have to convince them they want to do business with you. So your advertising is to bring them in. Then your job is to convince them. Followed by your work has to be up to par. If you have subpar work, then it's going to be hard to get repeat business. And as a pet groomer, you are looking for repeat business. That is your bread and butter. If you're not currently booking out a year in advance, I would recommend you start booking a year in advance. You will find that your business will flourish if you can start booking people out a year in advance. They're in a hurry. And they're Palisade. That's advertising right there. There's a reason they put the car manufacturer and the model on the vehicle. A lot of people can look at a vehicle and identify what it is. Not the first time around. And as a manufacturer, you want people to know what your product is so they can go buy it again. Or go buy it themselves if they don't currently own it. Same thing with pet grooming. You want them to find you. You want them to try your services. And you want to do a good job so they come on back again. And that is not something you see every day out in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina, in farm country, which is a full-size lifeboat, two of them. And my guess would be they want them for the motors, diesel motors, so they pull them and put them in tractors. Would be my guess. Demarinize them. Good low-hour diesel motors that were well maintained by the government. So, advertising 101, you want it to be big, you want it to be bold, and you want people to understand what it says. Now that's different than having a logo or branding. Branding is where you have a logo and everything is branded to that logo. Harder for a groomer to do than good advertising. becomes like Snyder or GE or GMC. Chevy or GMC? GMC is the upgraded workman's truck. Built a name for themselves on being a work truck. Now, the fact they cost more than a Chevy makes me think they're not much of a work truck. No, they're like a Dallas, Texas truck for a lawyer. Because that's about the only ones that can afford it. The branding is much more difficult to accomplish, where everyone knows your brand, like Levi's. You think of Levi's, you think of an American jean, which it's no longer an American jean company because the jeans aren't made here. The company may be owned in America, and I don't even know if that's right anymore, but the fact of the matter is I do know their jeans are no longer made here, so it's not an American product, so it's not an American company. Wherever your product is made is basically what I would consider your company to be located, because that's where all the manufacturing money is being made. Enough about that tangent. So what are you going to do for your advertising? Movable billboard, so when your company moves, your grooming salon moves, you just move your vehicle with. Great thing about a vehicle is you can park it anywhere. Farther out of the parking lot, the higher the visibility, the better your billboard works. You park it somewhere one day and it doesn't work, move it to a better location. If you have a lot of bushes at the edge of the road, cut yourself a spot in the bushes. Park your advertising right out there where it's doing what it's supposed to do. Advertising. No one could find the street sign. Everyone could find the Suburban. Parked it on the edge of the road, no questions asked. That's where they're located. If it's being repaired, it's parked somewhere in a repair shop, hopefully on a main road, and it's highly visible to everyone that drives by. Garmin has me going straight. I'm following the phone that seems to be much better directions. Google Maps, thank you guys. You got people driving everywhere.
Turn right onto Kingold.
I really think that Garmin needs to get Google to update their maps for them and their mapping system. Sorry, Garmin, you're doing a crap job, which is why you're going to lose the market. You're going to blame it on the fact phones are in everybody's hands, which you could be totally correct, but your mapping leaves so much to be desired that's really killing
Take the
you.
next right onto Kingold Boulevard, then turn left onto US 13 North.
Now we need to clean the adventure vehicle before it goes in for striping. And there's actually two pay lanes over here, guys.
US 13 North,
So we're getting ready to turn on 13 from Kingold, Kingold, onto what they call Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway, because there's one everywhere. Every town has a Martin Luther King.
Continue for 11 miles.
Where's all the George Washington Drive? One of the founders of our country. I know somebody's going to say, well, he owned slaves. Yes, he did. And I'm I'm freaking okay with it, because that's what they all did back then. My grandparents didn't own slaves. My great-grandparents didn't own slaves. Nobody I know owned slaves. Slaves are a thing of the past, long forgotten. On the left here, sorry, we already passed it. Already passed it, guys, sorry. Totally forgot to tell you. There's another little spot right here, though. It's private, I'm pretty sure. Got some floatables in it. I don't think I brought anything with me to drink. I had a case of water in here, I took it out.